Yes, 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 I am back again. I am here, me, Ozan Korsbey. Friends, I came for you exactly. We are starting. Now starting, and how? We are starting, you have no idea. We are starting like this, with astrology and zodiac sign interpretations. Yesterday, as you know, we thoroughly examined the path from Aries to Virgo. Today, look, we will start from Libra. From Libra, we will move to Scorpio. From there, to Sagittarius, then to Capricorn, then to Aquarius, and from there to Pisces. Pisces, the closing sign of astrology. Friends, for now, I need to warn you. Mars has completed its journey in Cancer. Exactly, the event is over. Now it is moving to Leo. There is something to be careful about there. It raises concentration to the highest level. You become overly ambitious without realizing it. You become overly ambitious without realizing it. You lose yourself too much from ambition. You turn the situation upside down. In 2 months, when the moon moves from there to Virgo, leave something for the system to move, then leave something to move with the system. Pluto in Aquarius imitating below doesn't even want to think about what you can do. I don't even want to think about it. Because Venus is still in Pisces. Its emotional guard is up. Don't be Venus. Lower the emotional decision and also the natural movement of Pisces. Not moving straight. Trying to gather yourself later. Trying to gather yourself later is also normal. In normal logic, it is seen as betraying the person. You are trying to gather yourself and then suddenly, what happened? Why are you tripping me up? I'm not tripping you up. I'm just trying to gather something. But this is the normal movement of the fish. This is the normal movement of the fish. Just like how it's in the nature of a scorpion to sting, as I mentioned yesterday. It's in the nature of a fish to try to gather itself from behind. 2. If you can't accept this as it is, which is one of the biggest problems in relationships worldwide, the problem of not being able to accept the person in front of you as they are. We can't do it, brother. Accept it like a man. It is not possible. Why? Because it has to be the way I want it. Now, Pluto transiting Aquarius will already make this happen. Moving away from the self-centeredness of Leo to the collective mindset of Aquarius. Moving to the collective mindset of Aquarius. You should pray day and night. And it's not Saturn in Aquarius. That would be even worse. Double self-centeredness. There's a Leo self-centeredness below. Why is there a Leo self-centeredness? Because the ruler of Leo is the sun star. They carry the ego of the sun star. But they don't realize it. Even though the sun star allows you to see everything in detail, you also carry the power of that star. And that power creates an ego within you. But you are not aware of it. And no, matter which one you ask. No, I don't have it. No, brother. How could it not be, dear? There's something shameful. Hit the remaining 11. Put your hand on your conscience. Could there ever be such a thing in him? Exactly. Now, Aquarius brings that self to the stage. Aquarius takes the stage. Aquarius is already on stage. Leo, I'm here, but if you don't have anything, how will you take the stage of that Aquarius? That belongs to us. Now, in the upcoming process, the upcoming process, Pluto brings the self, you, to the collective, rising to higher consciousness and moving towards the collective. But since Mars is in Leo, you might miss this. You might want to ignore this. Because with Mars in Leo, the sun, ego, doesn't understand at first. Act accordingly. Act accordingly. Don't ask why it turned out this way later. You will bear the consequences. No one else will bear them. There's nothing to be done there. Yes. Now, let's move on to friends with the sun sign and rising sign in Libra. What awaits you next week, for now. Has Mercury moved into Aries, brother? It has. Your 7th house. My living area, all communication and all short trips and thoughts will be about the living area. How can I improve my living area? Where did Mars transition to? From the 10th house to the 11th house? That is external resources, us, external connections. It moved into the area of other people who share common ideas with you. In my career area, my career is the 10th house. The 11th house is my peers. It moved into Leo. Now, they're related to your own area. You will have some thoughts and developments. During the upcoming period, as long as Mercury is in Aries, but Venus is in the 6th house. In Pisces, the dual movement. It may cause some illusions. Libra from your sign. What you need to do here is to maintain the boundary between us and self well. Because you are Libra. You inherently lack self. It's always about others. You need to strike that balance well in the upcoming week, because right at the beginning of the week, Pluto in Aquarius, Moon, there is a conjunction in your 5th house. From your 5th house, what comes from you? There is a conjunction there. Mars is making you do this in your external field. It enables you to do this in the external field. The week's Sun has already moved into your 8th house, managing external resources. There, it will spark a great enthusiasm there. Throughout the week, you will face yourself and move towards shedding your skin. There will be a Moon-Saturn conjunction. With the Venus conjunction in the middle of the week, you might experience a massive internal awakening there. What am I doing? You go, and then that shell had already broken off at that moment. Yes, when the moon moves into Aries and faces Libra, you will see yourself as clear as glass and start planning what you will do next. And the greatest help in this you will receive from Mars in Leo, in your 10th house. But until then, a painful process. Which painful process is it to seriously deal with yourself and yourself? In your inner world, with yourself. The process of confronting the people in your inner world. You will start experiencing it. Can my ego handle this? Because it needs to be refined. What needs to be refined in you? The giving needs to be refined, not the receiving. Because in your relationships, you come first. Let's do what you want. We can do mine later anyway. Let's do what you want. We can do mine later anyway. Everyone already has a sense of self. The person in front of you is like, okay, let's do mine. Okay, let's do mine. Okay, let's do mine. Never let's do yours. Otherwise, the scales in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are reaching the mercy of the truth. Exactly. And next week is already pregnant with sudden events. Because the Sun will slowly start to take Uranus's energy. And you are living in the 8th house, the house of managing other people's resources. You will be quite out in the open. Be aware, the sooner you finish those confrontations, the better it will be for you. Dear Libra, don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I didn't warn you. If necessary, explore brand new areas. Because Jupiter is still in the 9th house. Since it is in its own house there, it gives you plenty of luck. If necessary, change your living space there. This could lead you to change your lifestyle. There's nothing to be done there? Exactly. Now let's move on to Scorpios. What is the deal with Scorpios? The deal with Scorpios is Mars has entered the career house. You are very welcome. Welcome, Mars, to the career house. Scorpio. Where? What does that mean? Mercury to the past golden number house. Exactly. Mercury to the past golden number house. They will want to renew the organizations in the self-domain. While wanting to renew this, Pluto, the productive co-ruler of Scorpio, says it will move to Scorpio's 4th house. First it says security, and even says cyclical transformations in roots and ancestors. But to make these transformations, it says, I need to make some changes. Well, no more taking it day by day from now on. Whatever you deserve, that's it, darling. Whatever you deserve, that's it, darling. At the beginning of the week, there is an immediate Ipiriton conjunction in your 4th house. Because the matter is now serious. Why? Because the matter is now my career and my stance in life, it's not trivial. Exactly. It's not trivial. For this reason, you will want to dive into this right at the beginning of the week. Because it's intense. When Pluto's magnetic energy conjuncts with the moon in your 4th house, you will want to move towards extraordinary changes in your career house. And these changes are as follows. What works for me is mine. In other words, what contributes to me is mine. Turning back to your life, there's a sorting out. Exactly. There's a sorting out there. If you don't do the sorting, Isu will. It seems like the sorting will be done during the conjunction. So there's no problem at all. Exactly. No problem at all. If you don't do it, it will. If necessary, it will sort you out too. But if necessary, it will also sort your feet. From this area, throw this out too. The owner of this area, if he hadn't done it, oh my God, Scorpio says this very well. If he hadn't fallen, if he hadn't done it, Saturn, in the middle of the week, during the Moon-Saturn conjunction, while in Pisces, and in conjunction with Venus in Pisces altogether. I'm throwing this out too. But if I throw this out, the owner of this house will leave. Bro, don't be indecisive. Friends, if he hadn't done it, brother, if he hadn't done it, this is your thing, You're managing this, brother. There's something called shame. Okay, if he hadn't done it. I repeat, if he hadn't done it. Okay, man, if he hadn't done it, take it. Throw it. Yours will throw too. Yours will throw too. Look, be careful. Yours will throw too. Because look at this book in house number 8. What he can't do to external resources from others' resources. You can get support by taking from external resources. I don't know. Can I explain it? I will explain. I counted that for you. I couldn't recognize each mind outside of the external resources. I couldn't explain otherwise. That's why what will happen if you don't do it? You know very well. It will snap there, and in front of me, a career. There will be something called shame. Oh my God. That's why be careful with your emotional life next week. Pay attention to what you give. To whom am I giving? What am I giving? How am I giving? What am I after, really? Oh my God. Of course, what am I after? Exactly. It's clear what the person in front of me is after. What could they be after? Let's move on. For now, it wants a flying sound. Dear Sagittarius. Dear Sagittarius. 3, 4, 5. Mars has moved to the 9th house. 3, 4, 5. What is 3, 4, 5? Moon. In the 3rd house, 4th house, 5th. This means at home. The 3rd house involves what I will do. My immediate environment, siblings, and neighbors, but also transferring my thoughts into life. Mars is making an exact opposition to the house. Right now, in this lifestyle, if necessary, going into a struggle for some changes. Despite some people, or even despite yourself. No, because that's Sagittarius' own house, not despite yourself. Because if it were despite yourself, the next day, meaning after Wednesday, there will be a Moon-Saturn conjunction. In Pisces, there will be a Moon-Saturn conjunction. This will be extremely contrary to Sagittarius in Pisces, because Pisces will exhaust you. Jupiter, Sagittarius. Pisces will make a complete turnaround from your opposite. Honestly, let me put it this way. You might decide to tear down many things if it doesn't fit your life paralysis goal. You might decide to tear down many things. Why if it doesn't fit your life paralysis goal? Because Mercury is in Aries and it will either move to the golden numbered house in Mars. Ertugrul, the golden numbered house, is your organization. But because it has this name, it's an organization related to my values. Isn't it working, my friend? Don't you want it? Yes, it's a searcher. Because you are philosophy. I mean, you are philosophy. You are a person interested in philosophy. You can't be egocentric. It's not possible. There's no chance. So there's a problem there. Then look back at your ancestors. What is the source? Where is the problem? From whom did you get this problem? Because it can't be in you. This is the essence of the matter. Next to the sun. Then you need to turn and do something within yourself. You need to thoroughly examine within yourself. If there's no problem there, then the one in front of me is the problematic one. Because you are philosophy, man. You are us. You are the philosophy of life. You are a parallel universe, a flying complexity. Let the line move. There's nothing to be done there. Because if you don't do this week, by the middle of next week, with the Moon-Jupiter conjunction, you are the last one to hold on. After that, the train has passed. It's gone. It's gone. There's nothing to be done. Because Mars in your 9th house is telling you, you will change this from top to bottom. In fact, you will give yourself all kinds of ambition and opportunities to change it. How will you provide the opportunities? With the support of Jupiter in the 7th house and the communicative support of Gemini. How will you provide the ambition? With Mars in the 9th house of Leo in your house, you have to enter that cycle with the ambition there. You have to. There's nothing to be done there. It is considered under the power of shadows. Otherwise, that Pluto magnet turns it upside down. It turns it upside down. So why did it happen like this? You don't have the right to question it. Otherwise, you know what Saturn will do. Let's move on to the Capricorn points for now. Dear Capricorns, dear Capricorns, Mars has moved to the house of external resources. May your battle be blessed. You will enter the struggle of managing and fighting over external resources, the resources of others. With what? Pluto is there. Be careful, Pluto can take you off the wine bridge. Did you get off the wine bridge? You might become a priest. I think don't ever get into a conflict with the priest. Don't ever get into a conflict with the priest. Because next week the sun is also entering the 5th house of creativity. Bro, did you enter the 5th house of creativity? There, you can produce abundantly, which means you will find plenty of resources. You are the master of production, but never underestimate Mars's role number 800 in any way. Because I'm producing, the issue is other people's resources. So it means you need to act like a Sagittarius. If I can't go from here to there, but I can go from here to there, and if Pluto is also in my resources, then suddenly I should be flexible like a Sagittarius over other people's resources. There too, I shouldn't talk about the potential problems that might arise. Mayday, mayday. Joseph. Exactly. Mayday, mayday. The moon will want you to focus on your own resources at the beginning of the week. If you can combine those resources with others' resources and create a lot of trauma in the middle of the week, mentally, your close environment and siblings may not value you, but with support and the conjunction with Saturn, you can establish that balance beautifully. Once you establish it, at the end of the week, the moon will be in Aries. There will be a Mergel conjunction in your roots. It will give you the chance to anchor the situation more firmly. But in the meantime, the sun's role in the 5th house should not be forgotten. Plenty of creativity, lots of... You can rebuild everything. During this time, you should not account for what will be lost. Dear Capricorn, you should not account for it. Because when you do, you start chasing after it. I know you. Look, you don't start chasing after it. You foresee such trouble from the start. You don't take a step. What do you do to yourself if you don't take a step? Clean. Sweat. If you don't take a step, you do it to yourself. Mayday, mayday, Mr. Oaken. Are you willing to take this risk? If you are willing to take this risk, won't they ask why you fought the battle you've been fighting since January? Mayday, mayday. Of course, take last year's Saint as a base Consider the last quarter towards the end. You went there with determination, then you managed to pull it together. Why did you do the past 6 months? If you see this as a problem, or if you aren't doing it, why did you do it? Why did you come here? Let's come, for now, let's come. To the Aquarius section, dear Aquarians, dear Aquarians, dear Aquarians. Ha, ha, ha. A painful process. And a solid, painful process. Reason? Mars has moved to new numbers. My son, of course, it moved to new numbers. There is a Mars-Pluto opposition, Aquarians, right now. 2 separate processes. Mars-Pluto opposition, it also gives a very solid power. It gives a very solid power, as you know. Well, at the very start of the week, it will begin to take and use that power initially. It will feel that power. The sun is moving to the 4th house, to the roots. There, already a week later, it will move towards conjunction with the sun and Uranus. There, that power will already increase significantly. And it will increase very suddenly. In fact, events like crushing and passing over are in question. For now, this week. Dear Ascendant Aquarius, Moon in house number 1, Moon in house number 2, Moon in house number 3. House when it passes. Let me describe what appears to my eye. At the speed of light, upside down. In fact, not even upside down. Think about this. There's a hand here, right? At the speed of light, you will do this. Or follow along. It will actually happen on its own. You won't do it. It will happen on its own. You won't do it. It will happen on its own there. You won't do anything. You will go with that flow. While you're going with the flow, Pluto will cut you down solidly. There. With what? Saturn. Saturn is also in your 2nd house. So in the coming year, or rather, there's not even a year left. In a few months, it will cut you down solidly there. You will start watching the trailers for this next week, dear Aries. If you have a high level of consciousness, if you can see, do you know what you will enjoy? What you will enjoy? But if not, you will experience tremendous torture. You will experience tremendous torture because emotions will suppress. While suppressing emotions, I shouldn't leave anyone behind. No, why is it Allah? They shouldn't leave me behind. Spotless. But they are not you. You will say they are not you. You won't want to do it, but you will have to. You will have to do it. If they don't sleep, you will have to do it. And with this, next week, you'll keep turning it over in your head, saying. There's nothing you can do. A reversal is happening in your life. That reversal is a reversal, but in the same direction. Sweater change. Lifestyle change. Everything is Pluto number 1. Living. Space transformation. Together with Saturn in the 2nd house. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And the most important part is that everything will start to transform suddenly in the coming month. And in an overwhelming way. Why? Is it the Sun-Uranus conjunction? Sun? Is it a joke? Adun? Is it a joke? Let's come. For now, let's come, sir. Pisces, signs. Dear Pisces, dear Pisces, Pisces. What's going on in your inner world? There is a pristine Pluto in the 12th house. What's the news in your inner world? Pristine. Transforming you in the inner world. Saturn is in the 1st house. Holding the living space in a sinister manner. Look, in case that transformation doesn't happen, in case that transformation doesn't happen, say, look, no, I told you to change. Just like my father even. You said you can't change. There's something about shame. Son, Pluto, you accidentally took your conscience too, right? He doesn't know about it. I don't know about it either. I'm just learning about it now. You accidentally took your conscience too, right? Because next week, now, Fish, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Next week. The 6th house. How are we going to do this? Mars has moved into your 6th house. Up to a point in temperance. Pisces rest is up to a point in temperance. Mars wants you to present your leadership in organizing your life in the 6th house. This is on you. From above. Officially, look. There are signs crossing the Sirat Bridge, huh? The Sirat Bridge is being built over your life, just like that. You are not going there. Your life is transforming from the Sirat Bridge, and it's transforming at a solid pace. In the upcoming cosmic process, it is transforming at a solid pace. Saturn will shape you firmly there, and the first glimmers of this will start next week. Previously, it was doing it naturally by crabbing Mars, but now it will do it in the most direct way. And for this, you will find opportunities next week. And you can establish new emotional connections. You can establish new emotional connections. When we say emotional connections in your emotional life, you will experience a transformation. It seems like a transformation that can be saved you. Can save yourself in that transformation. In that transformation, I saved myself, couldn't save myself. You say the fish swims sideways. If Saturn comes into play during this time, it will give a solid kiss. A solid kiss, as you know. The sun The sun is entering your 3rd house. Lifestyle. Illuminate your lifestyle. From the 9 to 3-9 axis, Mercury is also there. Uranus is also there. Next week, you might experience emotionally terrifying moments. But whatever I am nothing. Experience it at all. Because you will be shaped there. You will be shaped solidly. Venus in the 1st house will ensure this beautifully. There will be sweet, sweet changes. There will be sweet, sweet changes. But doesn't the fish have an overly emotional side? That's there. It needs to grow a bit. That also needs to grow a bit. Next week, you will experience the first steps of growth, the first steps of getting up and starting to run. Dear Pisces, there's nothing to be done about it. If it were, the shop would be yours. You need to use your own Venus creativity and your own name very well. Saturn will also be there to support. Saturn will also be there to support. You need to use that support in an extraordinary way. I see its benefits in the coming week. Pisces will be noticed. Friends, that's all from me for today. That's all from me for today. In fact, if necessary, Pisces might even want to start over from scratch, just so you know. See you all, Ali Venus. Thank you.